have a very special guest joining me today, all the way from Georgia. John Mahaffey is here. Some of you may know John for his golf game, but we're actually going to be chatting about something different today. But before I get into that, John, thanks so much for joining me.
Stacy, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, let's chat about your background because a lot of people will know you from your history with golf and winning a number of golf tournaments, including some of the big ones. So tell me a little bit about your history with the sport of golf before we get into the other side of things.
Well, actually, you're in Calgary, right? Are you outside of Calgary?
We're in Lloydminster, so more closer to Edmonton.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, my professional golf career almost started in Canada.
Oh,
Ben Hogan was my mentor, and I had not. I'd played a U.S. Open as an amateur, and then I'd played in a tournament in Fort Worth, the Colonial, on a sponsor's exemption that he got for me, and he made arrangements for me to come up before I went to the PGA Tour School to come up to Canada and play and start in Winnipeg and play west all the way to Vancouver. So I'm very familiar with the Canadian golfers and the golf courses, and really thoroughly enjoyed that. I had a chance to play with one of your most famous golfers, Mo Norman, a couple
okay,
of
yep.
times. Yeah, George Knudson, Dave Barr, and Dan Halderson, and a lot of folks up there. So Canada's got a warm place in my heart.
And you did go on to win a PGA championship as well, correct?
I did. I won the PGA Championship and the Players. So a couple of nice little feathers in your cap, I guess you'd say. Fortunate enough to win both of them.
Well, and now today we're not talking about golf at all. We're talking about your second career, which is as an author, John. And I'm very intrigued. The series of books, a lot of it based on cybercrime. The latest one out is called Hoodwinked, and this is a series that you're doing. So, how do you switch from golf to? I mean, I know you wrote a book about golf, but then to get into this type of writing and get a whole series based around cybercrime.
Well, actually, what happened, Stacy, is I played the PGA Tour and then played the Champions Tour for a while, and I had some hip issues that were actually from a birth defect I never really knew about. So I was playing on borrowed time. So during that period of time, I had to quit playing golf. So luckily, the Golf Channel came around to offer me a deal. So I was with them for like 15 years. And during that period, as an announcer, live golf. So we did tournament up in Calgary, by the way, at the Shaw Classic and stuff. I did that for many years. But then it reached a point where I felt like I'd had enough travel and I really wanted to stay home. My wife had some issues with diabetes, and I was looking for another way to reinvent myself. All right. And I'd written a book, nonfiction, called Hogan's Boy, The Journey in Golf. And I put that out, and not a long book, but it was my experiences with Ben Hogan and Arnold Palmer, Nicholas Trevino, all the guys that I was lucky enough to play with. And I thought, that was nice, but I really wanted to write fiction. I had gone to South Africa in 1979. Calvin Pete and I went over there. We'd both won tournaments. I'd won the Players. No, I'd won the PGA, sorry. And he'd won a whole mess of tournaments. Anyway, we went over there and played for a month, but we played the tournaments on bookends. We played it in Johannesburg to start out with, and then Cape Town, and in between went to a game park called Timbavati. Well, there wasn't anything to do, really. There wasn't any TV, radio, hardly anything over there at Timbavati for entertainment. So there was a writer that somebody told me about by the name of Wilbur Smith, who was a fictional historical writer over there that had a couple of series, the Ballantyne series and the Courtney series. And anyway, I got all of his books that I could find. And I fell in love with the way he wrote, because he intertwined all the stuff of these families and all their issues along with the history of South Africa. And I thought, what a wonderful way to write. And so I hadn't written Hogan's Boy at that point. And but after that, after I decided to start doing something, I wanted to do fiction, because I think it gave me a chance to be creative, a great way to reinvent yourself. And it's
Right.
cathartic as well. You can kill people if you want to in these things and not feel guilty about it, So that's how I got started in it. And I based my the Nemesis series, is what it's called, on a family and how they grow, and the saga of the McCall family, how they almost lose everything because of a manager that tried to take care of a kid that was too naive and got them behind the eight ball where they almost lost everything. And that's how they started Nemesis, and how Nemesis grew to be a crime fighting, cyber crime fighting organization worldwide. And it goes all over the world. I mean, we're talking mafia, we're talking everything, big pharma, little pharma, everything.
Well, this latest book then, is this the end of the series or is this part of just it's going to keep going?
It's going to continue. My suggestion for people that are interested in reading the series is to start from the first.
Hmm.
The first book is called Shafted. The second one, Unfinished Business. The third, Dead Quiet. The fourth is Blindsided. And the fifth is Hoodwinked. And I'm about a third of the way through. The sixth book, which I have named right now, is what do I have it named? I've changed the name. I haven't come up with a final name yet, but Open Season is what it's called right now. But we'll see if that sticks. But I
Well,
don't know that I'm going to stop writing these things. I'm loving it. It's great. It's fun. Um, I'll be 77 on my next birthday in May, and I feel like it keeps me young. It keeps my mind active, something to look forward to every day, and hopefully it's very entertaining for the readers. It keeps them guessing.
well, John, it's incredible just to see what you've done, and I don't know how you get the inspiration to keep writing all of these books, and good for you for doing it. Because when you think of the work that goes into writing a book, a lot of people I don't think realize how much it is to actually just get the ideas, and then you got to go through the editing and the publishing and all of that stuff too, and to keep going and to keep the characters going and have that up in your mind, all these ideas. That's just awesome. I really appreciate you chatting with me today. And if people are looking to find your books, John, what is the best way to do that?
The best way to do it, well, you can go to Amazon right now. I have a website called johnmahaffeyauthor.com, but
Okay.
we're kind of refurbishing that a little bit right now because I'm writing books quicker than they can keep up. So, but basically, if you go to Amazon, you can find them there under John Mahaffey.
Awesome. Well, again, John, thank you so much for chatting with me. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to the continuing books in this series.
Thank you very much. Nice to be with you. Hope to do it again sometime.